All right, real life.
All right. Call Allah, Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honors unto the apostles of GMS, who we learn the truth from, and the elders on down. And Shalom unto the brothers and the few sisters that take heed. We're back again. All right. Um, where the spirit goes. Where I wanted to start with, if do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Want to say?
That's all right. No, I had a scripture. I had a scripture. So let's see. Because the Lord, right now, a lot of brothers don't even really fully understand what this is. Kingdom. This is a government that the Lord is building. You know, the David, and it's a very serious and this is why the apostles and the elders on down they always push about order. You know, there's always order um, with anything you do in life. You know, so again, I'm going to bring out 1 Corinthians 14 and 37. Right? It says, "If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy and forbid not to speak with tongues." And the point being, verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order, right? And I'm going to look up the word decently because it's a good word. Um, so I'm going to go to the root etymology on Blue Letter, which I'm going to play.
Strong's G 2158. Euschemo. Euschemo.
Euschemo, which means of elegant figure, shapely, graceful, comely, bearing oneself becomingly in speech or behavior. Apostles mention that once in a while. Brothers who are in good, influential, wealthy, respectable. So these are all words defining decently, right? And then I also went to Edom. Whenever you want to expound, bro, you can expand or expound. But I went to Adam Online to look up decent adjective from the 1530s, proper to one's station or rank, right? So again, like in a camp, you have different ranks, you have different stations, right? You have brothers that hold the posters, the cameraman, the speaker, the readers, right? Men who maybe are counselors as well, you know, brothers who talk to and get advice from other brothers, you know, all these things, man. You know, we're not basic, man. The Lord is not basic. You know, he he's very meticulous, meaning very, very detailed and accurate. You know, so he's gonna have all these things, just like Isa in high school, right? Don't you have a guidance counselor? You have a teacher. You have a principal. You have the janitor. You have all these things, right? Functions. Same thing with here. We're not going out every Saturday, every doing shit, and just doing for the kingdom. And the Lord, he's actually trying now. You know, he's building an army, man. Brothers are warriors, man. You know, because some brothers will die. You know, some brothers are gonna fight back with spiritual power. You know, it's gonna be a real transition of power, man. And how do kingdoms transition in power? Shalom, man. You know,
Yes,
well,
Lord.
how does transitioning in power happen? It doesn't just happen. It happens through fight. You know, through battles, man. You know, Septimius Severus, he didn't gain the whole Roman Empire through one little event. He had to go take over different generals, man, and their armies. And then he got the kingdom. He became the emperor, right? So back to the word decent, proper to one's station or rank, also tasteful, directly from Latin decentum, meaning becoming, seemly, fitting, proper, to be fitting or suitable. So when the scripture says, let all things be done decently and in order, right? Um, from PIE, which is pre-Indo-European, deki or dek, which means to take or accept, right? So when it says decently in order, basically is being found acceptable, man. You know, the Lord hates a proud eye, a proud look, proud countenance, you know, a proud attitude. You have to be found acceptable before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakam man. You know, that's all that matters in this world, man. It's not being found acceptable before a teacher or a judge or your parents or whoever, man. It's about being found acceptable before the Lord and his laws on down, man. That was it on that.
But that's the one thing society really doesn't acknowledge, because they are all about being carnal and carnality. So unless they see something carnally being done, which it is, but it's not in their sight, you know, it's not physically happening to you right at the moment, you feel as if the real power really belongs to Esau, because you see him, you see his police coming in when you disobey his law, but you're not understanding. They're just sitting back and waiting for that bill to be paid so he can give you all the judgment at once. And that's what the brother said. That's why he sets up kings and he sets up kingdoms, man, because they're all the examples to show you that it doesn't matter who reigns, the Most High reigns most of all, because he's always brought another kingdom to topple down another kingdom. You know, it's no different from Esau, man. What kingdom did people have to take down for America to be established, man? Us. Okay? He had to subject all these other nations to be the world. You know? I have a quick precept. Sirach 10:3 says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the
right, because why is it up to one king, one man, right? People always talk about liberty and freedom. That's how the Lord has it, man. You people, you're subject to what your higher powers do, right? That's why when there's a new regulation on hydro, what can you do? You can only react. You can't do shit. You get a letter in your mailbox saying your hydro's going up. Your hydro's going up. That's their powers telling you. You know, if there's your powers are going up. Uses that be would have you think that you have a voice or a vote, right? But it's already predetermined, man. So you people, you're subject to a power. So you don't understand what the hell is going on. You know, you've been in Babylon too damn long, man, like the apostles say, right? Because you guys think that, again, all this freedom talk, right? All this freedom, it's an illusion. You know, it's not really freedom, man. But the real Lord, they're coming. Your masters are coming, man. They're on their way. Okay.
Yeah, I have the etymology for the word power. You know, and people don't understand power. This is power from the etymology. This is the 13th century. It says ability to act or do, strength, vigor, might, especially in battle, efficiency, control, mastery, lordship, dominion, legal power or authority, authorization, military force, and army. Now, if we really break down this word, how much of you people can say you have your own army? How much of you say you have authorization to tell the government what to do? What legal powers do you guys have to change the gas prices that are stacking up and lowering it back down? Who has lordship over land? Who has the dominion over the earth to import goods and do trade goods and establish laws, man? Who has the control over the media and displays what they want to display on the TV? None of you, man. So yes, you're subject to a power. You don't have the ability to do what you want. If you had the ability to do what you want, all of you complaining about how that gas bill is so high, the hydro is so high, the rent is so high, market so high, you should be able to change that to whatever price you want, right? It's that simple.
Even paying taxes, man. Paying taxes is a token of being subject, right? Because they're subject to payments. Really, people aren't supposed to be taxed. The only people or entities, I should say, Esau likes his fucking fancy words. The only entities that are supposed to be taxed is businesses, income. You people don't earn income, man, or profit. You people, you get 40 hours a week, you know, maybe 60, right? And you know, you're getting your so-called wages, man, which is deducted by tax. You know, It's robbery, man.
A precept because you brought that up. This is Hagar 1:6. You have so much, but bringing little. Ye eat
Hey, I'm laughing because that's Jake's scripture. That's one of my favorite scriptures, man.
Mhm.
done. It says, Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes, man. That's evident in as soon as
You see that?
luck here.
Yeah, man. That's Jake's life, man. You
Done.
know, like me and one brother years ago, man. Because you go through different cycles in the street, but we used to be, you know, we used to go to the club, man, or strip club, and we used to have 10 cents in our pocket, man. You know, but we got by. But the point is, you got to learn to be content, man.
Yep.
You know, you got to learn to be content. You might have 325 for just the TTC, the bus ride. You know, but at first when the Lord puts in those positions, you get mad. Of course, you get mad. You might get bitter. But it's all to purge you, man. It's all to purge you. It's all to increase your endurance. You know, and a lot of brothers, man, they get mad because the Lord puts them in certain situations, but the Lord is really trying you and experimenting on you. That's what He's doing, right?
And if I can add,
And the scripture is like, but the scripture you read in that, man, it's to a T, man. Because whether you're working your 40, 60, 80 hours, or you're on welfare, or whatever the hell your case is, man, it's all the same shit. Because I can tell you, I've been on welfare and I've worked over 60 hours a week. It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit. I can tell you that, man. All right. Unless you have like a really high-end job or you're your own boss, and even then, of course, you're still subjected. But I'm talking about for regular men, right? For regular men, you're like I knew a guy in HVAC, like heating, ventilation, all that shit. And this dude he told me he I don't know, I think he did HVAC or he did air conditioning. Those guys get like 60 now, which is more now. That was like a couple years ago. But the gas guys used to get 40 an hour. But if you're dealing with air conditioners, you get 60 now. You get even more. But the dude's like, yo, man, I'm getting 60% of my check cut by tax. So he's only making 40% of his wage, man, which is pure robbery, man.
That's straight up fraud. That's right.
I used to do that shit. I used to do HVAC, and I could have had opportunity to get my license. I said, fuck that shit, man. I ain't doing that shit. All that you got to go to class, right? Get your G3. It goes from then your G2, then your G, which is your fully licensed gas technician. You get 40 hours, but you're getting fucked up the ass, man. Like you're getting robbed, bro. You know what I mean? The kingdom, you're gonna get a dose of your own medicine, man, and you ain't gonna have no fucking excuse. Go ahead, Al.
No, I wanted to add on. Did not Cardi B say she's getting 40% of her tax? And this is
that drag on.
Yeah, no, but that's evident. Look, she's a millionaire, and her check she's getting 40%.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what position you're in.
No, hey, them industry rappers, man, they're getting fucked up too, man. They get in debt right away, or they get some money, and then they're from the streets and they blow all their money, and then what do they get themselves into is a debt.
Hey, I'll tell you guys this right now for all of you new people who are watching this on the live and Facebook. I used to be into the whole business thing, and when I was in Miami, I talked to a guy that was in the mafia. Now he was telling me that the stuff that you see celebrity have like private jets and all that stuff, and they act like contract, and what their contract is, they either pay out a monthly or yearly wage on a contract where they can rent a certain amount of private plane company for a certain amount of time. All right, but they have to meet a status quo of at least a minimum of like 500,000 to even be able to sign a contract for that rental. So you see all these celebrities hopping on these private jets and saying they got this and saying they got that. It's an illusion, man. Because they're still behind them bills, man. They're still paying off their chain. Yo, there's a jeweler in Miami, in the Fort Lauderdale, that has pictures with all these celebrities, and he told me like, yo, most of these celebrities don't even buy off their whole chain, man. They buy a piece of it and pay monthly off it because they can't pay it down right, man. And then that's the reality of what's going on. That's why that whole music industry is a fraud, man. Unless you're literally a corporation, which you get the tax exams and you have different laws placed for you, you're paying out your ass for anything you have. You're still getting taxed, man.
Okay. That's part of the witchcraft that they're running in Hollywood. That make believe, that glitz and glamour to have your regular Jake believe that that's actually attainable. You know. So this Hollywood is straight up just witchcraft. Fuck you.
No, that's 100% spot on. You know, because even like in boxing, you have the same shit. Especially in the UFC, you Jakes are getting fucked over there, man. Me and the brother Tamaim, he could have been the UFC, man. He was a very skilled fighter, but he thanked the Lord that the Lord got him out of that shit. Because them guys get fucked, man. Right? But in the boxing, that's why Mayweather he used to be on the undercard. Right? He actually used to be the B side. Right? Until he bought his way out of his his deal, his contract, and he created his own promotion.
That's what
promotion, right? But he had to sell out. We already knew that demon, right? But the point is, they had a foot on his neck, and he already knew that was like slavery, man. That's why all those major boxers, man, Mike Tyson, Joe Frazier, Joe Louis, man, the Brown Bomber, man. Back in the time when Esau was still lynching Jake, Edomites loved him, man. You know, he was famous. He was a great boxer, but he ended up being a fucking doorman. You know, he was a doorman to and his promoter was a fucking Khazar, and the Khazar took all his money. You know, so man, you Jakes, like, it's good you brought that out, Gabarba. You know, because a lot of Jakes, man, they're under the illusion. You know, the all that glamour and all that shit. It's not all that, man. Like, to really make it and to actually to even do it, you gotta start getting into them deep fucking rituals, man. You know, it's not even about selling your ass out. You gotta sacrifice someone. You might have to kill your mother, man. Like Kanye killed his fucking mother, man. He did a sacrifice on his mom. You know, you have many artists that have to do that shit because Esau worships who? Molech. And what did Molech require? He required blood.
The babies,
right? Khan. You know, and there's other gods that actually require Khan, you're right, that was for babies, but you have other gods, I believe, like Baal Peor, he was one of them that required actual human blood. You have to kill him, man. You know? Yeah, by the time you're so-called successful, man, you're on drugs and bugged out, man.
Well, Kanye said it best. He sold his soul for a Happy Meal and what? A car? A nice car and a Happy Meal?
Yeah.
You know?
That's heavy.
And that comes
DMX
DMX
like I sold my soul to the devil and the price was cheap.
You know, I hear a lot of like rappers put that in their music videos just abruptly, but you know, only one who has some type of discernment will hear that and get what that really means, man. Because the scriptures go into what profit a man if he sells his own soul. You know, and remember, your soul was lent to you, as the scriptures say. I believe that's in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Your soul was lent to you. Okay, so your soul doesn't belong to you. Your soul belongs to the Heavenly Father, who's the Father of spirits. You know, so you sell you're straight up slapping the Most High in the face, man. You know. I got a precept.
Okay, go ahead.
This is just a quick precept. Proverbs 22:7. It says, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." Like brother said, Gabarba was going into chains, diamond chains, and canary diamonds and all this other stuff. You can't attain onto owning that product, all right? So you gotta like you're straight up living on the usury, man. These rappers are all living under debt, man, and they're paying just the interest, like paying off the interest of a credit card. But these guys are owing millions
AR. Let me just because you said that, let me add on to that real quick. Right now, these labels they give you deals. I remember I seen two. Okay, there was one that's called 360 and one called an exclusive. Now, the 360 deal is basically of what you
360. Yeah, con. That's something else. 60.
only for a year, and if you don't make up that change, they're able to cut you off. Now, the exclusive contract is where you sign out everything, meaning you don't get paid for a penny of what you sell and what you do. Okay, it's called an exclusive contract, but it makes it look like, oh, you're getting the perfect deal, you're getting all these riches, but really, it's a way to just market you as a product, and a product can't get paid. All right, when you're a product cannot get paid. You don't go and pay your iPhone anything, man. So that's how they look at these artists. Oh, you're just a product. Why do I have to pay you for what? That's when you think they're going on all these tours. You think they're going on these tours because they're just popping, man. Now they got to pay. They say they signed a 20 million deal, right? But they have to owe that back because that's a loan. That 20 mil is a loan. You still have to pay that back, and then on top of that, get your own money after you pay that back. So pay them back, you're pretty much broke because
like in an old dictionary, when you looked up the word Jew, the synonym was lender or usury. That was a synonym, usury, which is lending upon with interest, which is not permitted in the scriptures.
Okay.
Right.
You know, if well, at least to an Israelite, you can do usury to a heathen, but if you let
It's like you're cutting up.
5% interest or 10% interest, you know. But them
Called
Khazars, man, that's how they get you. They're loan sharks, man. You know.
They did them the deadliest ones, man.
sell you a dream, man. All they want to sell you a dream. What the scriptures call them, a hoaxer, a petty salesperson. You know, they're the biggest. They're the biggest sellers on the market, man. They're selling diamonds.
Remember, what's that Khazar, man? I'm the cash man. Man trying to buy your gold. What's that guy, man?
All over the city over here, man. Rats.
Yeah, Oliver. What's his name? Oliver something.
Oliver.
That guy. That Khazar.
Get him.
I think so. Yeah. That dude, man. And then he got a bunch of Jake bitches in his commercial too. We're talking about I'm the cash man.
Wow.
You know.
But
I remember that guy got robbed by Jakes, man. A demon, man. But I had a precept, right? Since we're getting into that, this is Revelations 18:9. You brothers can expound. It says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, for when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Right? Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, "Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is that judgment come."
Now,
Now
that's talking about America. Edom. You could say the home base or the home network of Esau is America, and the scriptures say, "O daughter of Edom or Babylon, who are to be destroyed." That goes in the book of what's that? Psalms 137. It relates Esau to being the daughter of Babylon because they were consent. And the scriptures say, "When thou sawest a thief, thou consentest with him." That goes into the Babylonians who came and they came against us along with Esau. So Esau is what's that? Metaphorically, as connected with Babylon. So all these nations got rich off of America because America is a world trade center of the world. You know.
Yeah, well, didn't it say mighty city, right?
Mighty, what's that? Prancing horses and horsemen. It's military. Very, you could say one of the top 2 militaries in the world. Powers.
And the word deliciously, when it says they have lived deliciously with her, in the Greek, means to be wanton, to live luxuriously. These people are living luxuriously, man. You know, the
Yeah,
people that are up in the upper echelon, you know, even the mid class. A lot of these people, they're really living off credit, man. They're
that's
not
true.
even rich. They're just living off credit. They have a nice car, they have a nice home, but they're living off credit. They might have 2, 3 credit cards, and they're paying off each one. They might
That's
have one for emergency, you know, with a high interest that they don't use. They took away for emergencies, right? And then they have their usual ones that they buy things with, right?
right. Just to add,
Um,
they say America is 15% of the world population, but they use over 15% of the world population, but they use over 50% of the world's resources. You know, so that's showing you that they also your regular everyday American Babylonian lives in La La Land, man. They don't know what the hell's going on. They live deliciously also because they're terrible wasters. They're lethargic. All they do is want to eat, you know, and
yeah,
glutton. That's right, gluttonous.
That's why American obesity rate is out the roof.
Kind of like 45-50%.
that's the first reason that recruitment isn't high for the U.S. military,
Okay.
because the number one thing is obesity. Right? So Revelations 18 and 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. And you notice to mention wood a lot, and that's how you know that Solomon's navy came over to this side of the world, you know, to get
Yeah.
certain things, right? Verse 13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
And souls of men. That's what we're, you know.
So all these things we're reading, what were they? They were part of the trading system, right? The economic system. So that shows you that slaves and souls of men is part of the economic system.
Yeah,
And
social.
when you're born, you have your birth certificate, which goes up on the stock market.
That's right.
You know, these scriptures are powerful, man.
No other nation really has that other than what I'd say what Britain or and the North American countries like you know really have actually you know what these elites probably got that worldwide, man, because you know it's not just in America. But that's true though. Souls of men.
And to be honest, if you look at history, there is no kingdom that ever existed without slaves. Like this is no different in this modern era. There can't be a nation that's on top that has no slaves, man.
Hey, you see that? I typed it in, right?
Gun.
It says, do other countries have birth certificates? And it says, globally, 1 in 7 registered children does not possess a birth certificate.
1 in
It says
7.
it says in some countries, this is due to prohibitive fees. In other countries, birth certificates are not issued, and no proof of registration is available to families.
Yeah,
So that shows you certain countries they don't, you know.
that's true. Gun.
Religiously. Fine.
Only in America.
I got a precept.
God, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
The Psalms. Oh, you Akim can break this down. Psalms 106 and 42. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. And like I say, quick, that birth certificate, what you said, man, that's a way of putting you under subjection under their hand. Because as soon as you're born, man, you're late. You know, and most of Jay, when you're credited, he's credited with you, man, the babies. So by the time that baby grows up, man, your credit score is already messed up, man.
As soon as you're born, that's right. You guys take on debt.
Yep. You know, there's no way out of this thing, man. So when people start talking about, oh, you're free to do whatever you want, man, you have to look at them with a funny face.
That's right. Like we're debt slaves, man. As soon as we're born, we're debt slaves, man. And as the petro yuan is being. I think they're bringing it out in what, another month or so. That's and gas went up, man. I just put $80 some in my tank today. I'm like, eventually people are gonna be saying something, man.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be something, man. They're gonna go down to Parliament, down to the Parliament or Golden Boy and protest out there.
And you're in Manitoba, man. They got away down there.
That's right.
They have guns down there.
So yeah, we're debt slaves, man. Like the scripture said, we borrow as servant to the lender, and really, money is debt holding currency, man. So we're trading with debt. So we're screwed, man. That's why China is really bringing back the proper balance between gold and money, right? Because what they're doing is actually a righteous thing, right? They're bringing back gold, the gold standard. So that's in a way, yes, it's the only way they're gonna be able to just really get into this war, and we know that them rats run China, man. China and the gutter rat Jews, they're controlling. The rats controlling America and this whole confrontation in the world. Ultimately, most sides bring this to come to pass, man. So we're all debt slaves, really.
I have a precept to back you up.
Okay.
Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a turning proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that's
thick clay.
Go ahead.
Thick clay. The word clay in the Hebrew is batya, which means debt. And America is what, $30 trillion in debt right now?
Yeah, like 22, 23. Hold on, let me. Go ahead.
And it went into wanting to increase that which is not his, because one way how these elites are making money is what they did was they went into Afghanistan and they took control of the poppy fields. And prior to the war in Afghanistan, the poppies out of Afghanistan was only 15% of the world production of poppy. Now it's 90%. All right, 90 up to a 95%, man, production. So that's how America, I believe they went into that in during the Vietnam War, how I don't know if it was the government or the FBI or CIA made a lot of money, because this whole drug industry is all for profit, man.
I'm looking at the national debt clock right now, and it's $21 trillion and climbing like ridiculous.
And that's being nice, though.
Yeah,
that's being nice.
21 trillion, and you have U.S.
Hey, that's a thick clay.
Yeah,
that's true, man.
Hey, and that's how you know it's really the power of Yahweh Shai that this country is even still functioning. Because how many other countries have gone bankrupt off of way smaller amounts of debt?
That's that credos. What's that? Credit to believe.
Yep.
People believe in the system. Once they realize that it's all bullshit and they stop buying, then it's over, man. Government's gonna have to get in there and do something.
Yeah, it's also known as isn't it known as a fiat currency?
Mm-hmm. And the fiat means, what does that mean again? I can't remember though.
Which fiat? I got the word. It's in Latin, fiat, which means let it be done.
That's it's not there's not didn't
it just means to just make, and then that isn't how they make it. They just print it. They have those long ass sheets and they print it.
But amen does not aman mean let it be or let it be done? So he starts trying to, he's playing that God typer, trying to be like the Most High, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Because back in the day, it was just basically a redeemable note. It actually said redeemable, and you had those notes, and they were worth various amounts in gold, And then after the Great Depression, I think it was at 33, they came out with the law about taking the dollar off the gold standard, and they said everyone in the country had to bring in their physical gold into the bank, and they said, oh, we'll give you the note for it. But then guess what? Once you put that gold in that bank, you can't use that note to get that gold back. Now they just fucked you up and they took all your gold. They took your gold, man, and they said if you don't bring your gold, then you can get fined or imprisoned.
Cool. That's
Wicked,
wicked, man.
Yo, Esau is one greedy ass snake, man.
That's right. Oh, not satisfied.
Man threatened you. See, yo, if you don't give me your shit, bro, I'm gonna run up in your house. You never gonna vote again. And he still don't end, man.
And they listen to his ass too, man.
Yeah. Wait, that was the 30s, man. We were zombies. Still zombies, you know what I mean? Like they were like crazy, but yeah, man. This devil.
I don't know if it was
after that it said unredeemable, I believe.
Because I know around the early, I don't know what time period it was, but certain Americans knew about the rogue government and they knew about their rights in the Second Amendment. And I believe there was one, I don't know which political head it was, but he spoke about in case the government rises against the people and the people have the right to, fight against it. I don't know what time period that was, but that was when so-called Americans had some type of sense about the government and knowing their rights. That it was above, their right was above the authority of the government, man. Today people are, from what brother said, from the 30s on, zombies, man.
Yeah. That's when they all of a sudden they started taking you out of your mind to think and just being a worker bee, man.
Sure.
A robot. Now, I got a preset. This is James 5:4. Behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your field, which is of you kept back by fraud.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You get taxed on your paycheck, and you get taxed on the food that you purchase, and then you get an income tax that you got to pay at the end of the year. Yeah. They're saying Canadians have less than $500 in the bank for a rainy day, man. And this has been like no one. It's crazy because everyone's zombified. Nobody knows what the hell's going on, So, like you said, the laborers of you kept back by fraud, man. We're being robbed, man. But it's not our money, though. This is not shit. Give Caesar what is Caesar's, right?
You gotta give Caesar what is Caesar's, man. And these nations are giving Caesar back all his debt, man.
That's true too. That's a good one, ain't you? That's true.
Hey, so look, right? When you look this up, I don't know if you can see it. I have it here, right?
So
it says Federal Reserve note, right?
Yeah.
Which goes back to what? What's the Federal Reserve? That's central bank, man.
Privatized.
It's private. It's a privatized entity, basically. It's not American. And then it says here, in the small ass print, it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. I don't know if you brothers can see it.
Public and private debt, eh?
Right there, right? Yeah. But it says this note is legal tender, which legal tender, it also says that on a Canadian bill, right?
I didn't even know.
I looked up the word tender, which tender means, it's an adjective meaning soft, easily injured, right? From PIE root 10 meaning to stretch.
To stretch? Making money stretch, eh?
Hence weak or young, right? Delicate. So they just, again, all these words, man, he says a fucking witch. So he has fiat currency, which is just, they just made it. And they just said, okay, but it's legal tender. So they're telling you it's a weak piece of shit. It's tender. Weak. Right? Like you have tender meat, it's weak.
Yeah.
Soft.
That's right. Oh, getting played, man, getting played.
But it's legal, right? It's law. So
man, all of you people who value throwing it up, man, it's like a joke because like the elites are in the back, like, god damn, bro, that shit. You know what I mean? They're like in the back, like, shit. Like, wait till they find out that don't mean anything, man. Because what makes something rare when it's hard to get, right? So if you're getting gold and silver, you can't just print that. You can't just print that out. So you have to be careful with it. with this money, they just need to print it all day, every day. Oh, we're short a couple billion. You'll print me a couple billion, man. You know, gold. Yeah,
They had what was that shit called? The in the recession, the bailout, right? They had the fucking bailouts and all that shit. There's no how do you bail it out, man? When you find gold, you won't find a lot of it. You find it in small scarcity.
Kind of
You know,
description.
sometimes silver you'll find a lot, but silver is way less precious than 18 karat, 24 karat gold.
Hmm.
You know, you're talking about 925 sterling that you get in the jewelry store. You know that's not worth. It's worth something, but it's not as worth as much as a like a gold chain versus a silver chain. Obviously, there's a big difference.
I got a precept.
Come on.
Just a quick one that you touched. This is second Ezra 8 and 2. It says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. So like you said, you could dig into I used to watch this show, I don't if they call it Gold Diggers, but they dig I don't know, thousands and thousands of lift thousands and thousands of pounds of dirt. I don't know what they call it or classify it as, but they get like the amount of gold to fit into a cap of a Coke can, the Coke lids,
Come
you
on.
know. So all that work, like brother went into, what's precious is something that's rare, you know.
yeah. I have a quick precept because we're going into buying and exchanging, right? So this isn't in the ancient times, man. This is Jeremiah buying a field, and let's see what he used to buy that field for his home. This is Jeremiah chapter 32, and I'll start at verse 6. It says, and Jeremiah said, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, behold, Anamiel, the son of Shalom, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, buy thee my field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption is thy to buy it. So Hananiah, uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison according to the word of Yahweh, and said unto me, buy my field, I pray thee, that is in Anathoth, which is in the country of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is thine, and the redemption is thine. Buy it for thyself. Then I knew that this was the word of Yahweh. And I bought the field of Ananiel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. So when you're dealing with it, you're supposed to be dealing with weights, man. A just weight. They did not say a just weight, man. Is it man? So this money you can't even weigh it, man. What's your $100 worth? Nothing, man. You put it on a scale, it doesn't even tip. You know,
You could tell originally that you go to England and they call their money a pound. You can tell, and that's like you can say that's where America, birth of America came from. They came from Britain, and yeah, and I don't know for the franc, but there's the pound, and then there's I'm sure there are other currencies, but money was always weighed,
Continuing, it says, and I subscribed the evidence and sealed it and took witnesses and weighed him the money in the balance. So when you're doing exchanges and you're dealing with actual real money and buying property, it should be weighed, man. Okay, that's how things are always dealt. So that way you know it's not a fraud, it's not a fake. But Esau just gives you paper and say, "Yo, value that, man." You know.
That's it. You got some?
Yeah, I had some. You had some?
Kind of you got something. You could go. Go ahead.
Okay. I had Genesis 12 and verse 1 or 13. It's like 13 and 1.
That's a spirit. I was just holding that too.
Hey, you can read it. I looked up 2 words, so I'll get the words. So you read it then.
Okay. All right. This is Genesis 13 and 1. It says, and Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold.
Come on. Hey, what does the word Ibra mean?
Exalted Father.
So I got the word rich, right? Because it's a good word. When you look it up, it means, or the word rich is kabad in Hebrew, which means to be heavy, be weighty, to be hard, be rich, be honorable, right? To be heavy again, to be made
What does
heavy.
Scripture say? What does Scripture say about riches being too not good for a what's it, a night guard? Is it
Not commonly for a nigger.
for a kind of not comely for a nigger? You know. Go ahead.
That was the word. Yeah, you keep reading now.
Kind
And Slack, yeah, that shows you, man. He wasn't rich in a Federal Reserve note. He wasn't rich in in paper money, fiat currency. He was rich in what? He was rich in cattle, silver, and gold.
He was
cattle you can trade, and you can barter with cattle.
That's right. He was self-efficient. Like today, you go back to the islands. Most of our people were farmers, right? You go to Trinidad or brothers from Jamaica, Benjamin. Most of us were farmers. So we had some goats, we had sheep, we had cattle, we had riches. But now
Latin tribes, they had it too.
That's right.
You go to Ecuador, Venezuela, or Uruguay, they all have cattle and all that, man.
Mm-hmm. Now we've lost that way. Let me go back into the book of Genesis 13 and 3. It says, and he went on his journey from the south even to Bethel, onto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, Slakia, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abraham called on the name of the Lord.
And that proves that they knew the name of the Lord, because it's all capitals, which is Yahweh. Right. Yeah, you can read to verse 6.
6? It says, and Abram also, and Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. So they had
that's how much they had, man.
Yeah, they were. The word
large. The tents weren't no Boy Scout tents, man. If you watch some ancient movies, that's why Apostle Tahar, he always encourages brothers to watch a thing called period pieces. They focus on one period in history, and they do a movie on it. Gladiator, that's a good movie, although it's not 100% accurate. There's the next one, The Kingdom of Heaven. That's a good movie about the Crusades. You can learn a lot. You can, and then you can read about it, right? But if you watch those movies, you see them tents, man. They're huge, and they fit a lot of things in there, man. It's like a decked out apartment or like a bungalow.
You see some tents now.
Yeah.
And they're connected. They got different rooms. But back then I'm sure they were heavy. You had wood. Keeping them up, it was huge, man. You had a storm and you were cool. The wind would blow and you were still good. Okay, I'll keep going from 6 to 7.
Just 6.
Okay. It says, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
And then I looked up the word substance, right, in the blue letter. Second, which is the word rakawash, which means property, goods, possessions.
We don't own livestock, of store and utensils. True, like property today, we don't own our property, man. We don't own our car, because that's a privilege. That's a right. They could take your license and take your car. They could take your house. We don't have allodial titles, which they don't give out anymore. So we've lost everything, man. We got no right to anything.
And not even the license. Most people don't even buy their car. They lease their car, and they're making monthly payments. Right? Right. So you don't even know the chariot you have. Not even your chariot. In the ancient world, man, you had a horse, man. It was your horse. You had to feed it and all those things, I
go back to that, man, any day.
You
You with a horse of con
got a preset?
con.
This is Isaiah 3 and 1. It says, Behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, which is our resources, our lands. It says, the mighty man, the man of war, the judge, and the prophet, and the prudent, and the agent, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator, and will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And you've seen that all that is made for a government to handle the resources and to do the trading and all that stuff. So without all these men and good speakers and stuff like that, we don't have something to maintain for ourselves, man. The most over to Esau to do everything. That goes back to the curses. You shall go to your enemy for one of all things, man. He took. You got it.
And the thing is the scriptures say that one terrible thing is for one one to serve one who is lesser than himself. And Esau is below us, man. I don't know what scripture. I thought that might have been Sirach. But he said there were three things that disquieted the earth, and the fact that we, being the children of the Most High, we're serving somebody who's lesser than our being, you know. And you mentioned excellent order and all these other great men. These men were, you had teachers, man. You had men who were role models. So we don't have I don't know if I could say community or a nation with leaders. We got Esau as our role model. Let me see if we can find which one is it.
That's working out for us. Our people are more busy about trying to get to work on time and get a paycheck and actually trying to even understand how the money system even works. Imagine everybody praises money, but don't even know how it works. Don't even know the value of what they're holding, which is pretty sad. Um, looking for something?
Cause I'm just trying to see if I think it might be Proverbs. Because the Proverbs is Sirach. Sometimes I get mistaken between them both. Lesser than himself. Because that's the state that we're in. The scriptures say, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's that comes to show you that the same things that was happening in the beginning of Genesis are happening right now, man. These are working together.
That which is, that which shall be.
Cut. I got it. This is book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and at 21 it says, for three things the earth is disquieted. Disquieted meaning that not at peace. And that brings to mind what's that? Revelations, the 6th chapter, man. The horse that took the peace from the earth. It says, for three things the earth is disquieted, and for four which I cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, all right, and a servant is talking about these so-called white people, man, because the way the world, everything that they've drawn up and they planned out is actually destroying their whole establishment. Everything's getting all jacked up, and even the internet. The fact the internet's out, these elites can't hide themselves anymore, man. So everything that they.
That's why who was it? One of the Rockefellers. He said, "I wish the internet had never been invented." I think it was a Rockefeller Rothschild.
One of them, right? Right. So everything that they put together.
Back to servants, right? This is Ecclesiastes 10:7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yeah, and that statue of Jackson, was that Andrew Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
With Gad on one side and Judah on the other. Is that is it?
Sorry?
If it's not Andrew Jackson, it was
a later president.
It was a rat.
One second.
Not Roosevelt. Not Roosevelt, eh?
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Kun. So yeah, that's the statue of Roosevelt on a horse, and Judah, and which represents the northern and southern tribes. It's Gad, or or and Judah. Servants upon horses, man.
Hey, that goes back to the scripture in Baruch, man. We are yet in our captivity, man.
Kun. Yeah, I'll keep going with this one.
Just gonna show it just for brothers who haven't seen it. Right there. Did you see it?
A little further up. Go up a bit. Can't see the head. I can just see the bottom there. Kun. Teddy Roosevelt and Judah and Gad. It's Gad, right? Because he's wearing the headdress, right? Is he wearing the headdress? Kun, that's Gad right there.
Yeah, Kun.
Yeah.
So that's spiritual, man. That's very spiritual right there. For those who can get it.
And that's in New York City, man.
That's in New York, eh? Oh, what a coincidence. Kun. Is that it, Ak? With the verse you had? Kun,
oh, yeah, that was it.
Kun, I'll go back to Proverbs 30 and 21 again. It says, for 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which I cannot bear. So meaning that you can't be at peace, you can't be at rest. You gotta sigh and you cry, man. It says, for a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is not filled with meat, meaning he's not satisfied with his portion, man. The scriptures say hell is never satisfied, so was the belly never satisfied. So Esau's literally, he's hell, man. Esau's hell, and they're never satisfied with what they've been doing on the earth. That's it.
I have a precept, but you said that they're never satisfied. This Obadiah 1 verse 5. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? That comes to show you, man, like Esau, people come take what he wants, but Esau, he don't care, man. If you're getting your insurance are getting pulled out. Hey, I don't know brothers had this, but there's some instance where Esau will get your insurance taken out, your mortgage, all at the same day. You still got all these other payments, you got to pay all at the same day, man. There is no leverage, man. You go and you'll say, yo, this is happening, this, and he's like, hey, not my problem, man. That's your problem. You should have stepped your work game up, man.
Which was my money.
That's how Esau operates, man. It's on that. Well, that's not my problem, man. But yeah, he's taking everything that you own, man. He's to the point where now he's even taking your mind from you. He wants your mind. He wants every little thing that he wants to know how you breathe. He wants to know how you get sick. He's helping you with your health, man. It's crazy, man.
What's the scripture here?
We could get one more and then close up.
Kun.
I'm gonna get this. This is Ecclesiastes 12:1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
So the scriptures say, you got to seek the Lord while he may be found. All right. Before you're not going to have pleasure in the things that you do, because as the scriptures say, this is temporary. This is sin for a season. This is only for a short time. Go ahead.
It says, verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars do not darken, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the houses shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few,
And as you
and
see,
those that look out of the windows be darkened.
the economy is looking more and more what's the word? I don't know, dark. It's looking dark, you know. It's like it dim, or dim. It's like it. So as you see with what's going on, the scriptures, the Lord tells us to be watchers and to watch the economy, the affairs, geopolitical affairs of the world, and to relate it to the scriptures. Related to the scriptures before it's too damn late. You gotta measure the time diligently in itself. What up?
It says, verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
And daughters of music, the music today is nothing but it's depression, man. It's put people in a daze, and it's crap. It's crap music. The scriptures say that music was made to make men merry, to make you happy. But music today puts spirits on you, man, because these elites know how to work with the vibration and the rhythm of the music, man, the drum beat. They know how to work with that stuff, man. They've studied us. They know about Gad. Gad has the drums. You listen to a powwow, man. When them hit that drum, you ready to go to war, man. I'm listening to that. I'm like, man, I can see how Gad was just went out, man. I don't know how he hollered that, but that's some serious spirit right there, man. Time of war. That drum beat. Kind of slacky. Go ahead.
That was it, but I have in the scripture. It says Luke 21:36, which you said we have to watch, right? We have to watch all these things. That says, watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
That's what we want to do, man. That's why we do this. And go, what shall we have in return, man? What shall we have in return? We can't describe it, man. The Lord told us, and we still can't describe how great that gift and that blessing is going to be in the end, man. Eyes is not seen, nor ears heard, the things that the Most High have prepared for them who love Him. So, brothers got to keep pushing this word, man.
Yep. That was it. And everything. Okay. We say, Call halal, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash, double honors unto the apostles of the great millstone that rule well, and salutations unto you brothers and your sisters out there. All right, we want to say, Kwame Sharala.
Kwame Sharala. Shalom, my king. Shalom, Kabbalah. Yeah, but